Welcome to the Beyond the Falls podcast. I'm Sarah Jenkins, and today I have Jake Wagner with the South Ridge Ranch Bacon here, to talk about all things bacon. So thank you for joining us, Jake.
Not a problem.
Yes, I'm super happy you're here. I'd like to start out by asking you, what is your connection to River Falls? Like, what brought you here?
Well, grew up in Minnesota, but I married a Wisconsin girl. Okay. And we ended up in River Falls about 18 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So we've been in River Falls for 18 years now. Our two kids we raised here. One daughter is 20 and a son that's 14. Going into high school.
It's exciting
It is,
times.
yes.
How fun.
Yeah.
Now, I know a little bit about your business here.
Okay.
But tell me how this came to be.
Well, about 5 years ago, we got a smoker. And most men, when they hit that midlife crisis, they either start smoking meats or buy a sports car. Nobody told me it would cost me the same amount every month.
Oh.
So we just started making bacon and just was trying also, pulled pork, all these other things. And about a year ago, I worked for a major employer in the Twin Cities that went through a massive layoff. And I was one of the fortunate ones that was let go. And my wife looked at me and said, "Let's do it." I said, "Do what?" "Let's turn this bacon and let's turn it into a business." And so a year ago, about this time, we did our LLC and we started down the path of what is it going to take to do this business.
Yeah.
And let's just say a lot of things have changed in that 1 year. We look back at it and go, whoa, this is, we had little bacon sample slices because we didn't have a slicer that was big enough, or I was cutting them by hand and had no equipment other than a smoker.
Oh, sure.
And that's where we started looking for, okay, we need a commercial kitchen. Because that's what we found out. We couldn't do it at home, right? It's because we're dealing with meat. And we went and we toured 3 different locations and ended up on the St. Croix Valley Business Innovation Center back in their commercial kitchen.
That's awesome. Keep telling me
So,
more. I've been there. It's a neat facility.
Yep.
and tell me more.
It's a phenomenal facility. So back in, they have offices, they have cubicles. I also rent a cubicle there because I have a full-time job that I do on top of bacon.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep. So
You're a busy guy, Jake.
I got to pay for all this equipment somehow right now.
Yep. Yeah.
And then they have light industrial, and then I think 3 or 4 years ago they added a commercial kitchen. And so back in the kitchen they had a half pot available, and this commercial kitchen is about 3,000 square feet.
Okay.
And 1,500 of it is kind of designated for different businesses. And they're called pods. So each full pod is about 225 square feet. And I started with a half a pod. Oh. And nothing in it. But what we did is we found out that we had, before we could get licensed to be able to sell bacon direct to the customer, we had to have a location and we had to have our equipment first. I wanted to get licensed first. They weren't going to do that because they license not only the business, but the business at that location.
Sure.
Okay. So I was like, okay. So we reshuffled what we were going to do. We bought our starting equipment. We bought a 2-door fridge. We had our smoker, bought a slicer, bought a packaging machine, and had some friends and family, and we went Facebook finding for like stainless steel tables. And a stainless steel rolling cart and just all the things that we were going to need. Bought a shelf. And we started. From the time that we signed our lease at the business center, it took us about 2.5 months to get licensed.
Okay.
So there was 2.5 months where it was learning processes, working with the state of Wisconsin on our HACCP plan. And it was actually a phenomenal experience. Everyone that I dealt with at the state and at the county level for the food industry, for me, all they wanted to do was help. And they were able to do that by putting up some guidelines, some guardrails. And that's what we just kind of worked through to be able to be licensed to be able to sell direct.
Yeah.
So we got it about December 1st is when we could start selling.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
So very recent, actually.
Yes. December 1st was when we started selling. So we're on month 7
Yes.
now. And you know, when starting that small business, friends and family, they supported, they came out in droves in December. And it was phenomenal, right? It felt good.
Yes.
And then January came, and the spigot just kind of got shut off. And a lot of my other pod mates were telling me, hey, we're in food. January, February, March, that's when you go on vacation. That's when you start prepping for the next busy season. And they were correct. The spigot was just shut off. But during that time, St. Croix Valley Business Innovation Center, along with the Small Business Development of the state of Wisconsin and partnering with the University of Wisconsin River Falls, they put on a entrepreneurial training program, or they call it ETP, and it's it's a $1,000 new business program, but then if you go through it all, you get a grant for $750.
Oh.
And so for $250, we had 10 weeks of continued training all the way from starting your business to marketing to finance to legal to running out your projections. When we were done, if I wanted to go to the bank and go, hey, I need X amount of dollars, here's my business plan. And you ended up with a 40 to 50 page business plan that highlighted what you do, what your business is, who your customers are, what your projections are. And it was a phenomenal program, just because, yes, my wife and I had all of these things, but they were all over the place.
Yeah.
Whereas this, put it here and brought it together and put it in one thing.
Wow, that's incredible. That's,
yep.
I mean, $250 to basically help you to organize.
Yep, and then I got to meet, there was 12 other businesses that were in there. Right, and so then you get support from all of these other businesses, right? As you're throwing ideas around, and they're throwing ideas, and it's been phenomenal experience getting to know those new businesses as well, as they make decisions to either go or no go. I mean, there's a lot of businesses there's 3 of them that when they finish, they just, not right now. But right, that's a $250 investment that probably saved them
pretty
years.
Valuable. Yep.
Yes. So
absolutely. Wow, that's really an incredible thing. So you started out kind of as a hobby, and now here we are, full on selling bacon. Selling bacon,
yes.
Tell me the flavors and how you decide, and I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah. So flavors, we have 3 that we're always going to have. Okay. We have a sweet and smoky. That's kind of our original. It's a cinnamon chipotle blend.
Ooh.
Okay. It's not spicy. It's just it's a good all-around bacon.
Yeah.
We also have a maple bacon. And then we also have we call it Chesapeake Coastal, and that's kind of like an East Coast seafood boil. It's got bay, paprika, pepper, and it's just, as one of my neighbors says, it's his Bloody Mary bacon.
Oh!
And then from there, what we do is that we do limited editions, where we just kind of, we go into the test kitchen, which is our normal kitchen, but it's when we're playing around with some flavors. Yep.
Yes.
We did an Irish whiskey bacon, and it tastes like Irish whiskey. You get a flavor of Irish whiskey. One of our new ones that you can only get at our summer markets. We haven't put it online yet. Is a honey habanero.
Ooh.
And so it's a bacon that you take your first couple of bites and you kind of go, where's the heat? And then about 30 seconds later, it builds and then it comes. It's not going to burn your face off, but it's got a little kick to it.
Yeah.
For the summer, we have a ranch. And we've worked hard on that recipe, so that way it's a There's no dairy, there's no allergens in it. It's 10 different spices that we're using to kind of get that like an earthy ranch flavor to it.
Yeah.
And then just this week I mixed habanero in with it.
Ooh.
That's really good. If you want to kick up your BLTs with a little heat, that one you get that ranch flavor in the BLT, and then the heat kind of comes in after that. That's fun. We have a black pepper one that's coming out, but we've also had some failure. Well, not failures, just not. It's still good bacon. They just didn't, they didn't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're always trying new flavors out, just because one, we're finding out like with the farmer market season has started, and we've been getting a lot of regulars, and now they just come up and they just ask, any new flavors this weekend?
Oh.
They don't even need to sample it. They're just if I have them, they're buying them.
Nice.
Right. So that's been fun. So I don't want to make 300 different flavors, but there's been a lot of experimenting going on with different flavor profiles.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. How fun too.
Yes, it is. It is.
Now you mentioned farmer market season.
Yes.
So you're actively at farmers markets in the area. You want to tell us where we can find you?
So most Thursdays you're going to be able to find me at Rush River here in River Falls. And that's Thursday evenings from 5 to 8. They have live music and they have vendors that are there.
Awesome.
That's where I got to cut my teeth, learning how to do markets. We started December 1st, and I think it was whatever that next Thursday was, Rush River said, yeah, come on in and start selling your bacon. And we've learned a lot. So I'm very thankful to Rush River Brewing to allow us to learn how to do a farmer's market.
That is cool. And that's year long. You're going every Thursday.
For the most part. I will take a few Thursdays off here and there.
Gotta do that.
But then what's really nice is that come winter time, the market goes from outside to inside, right? Yes. So then it's another opportunity for people to be able to pick up my bacon, because right now our bacon is only at farmers markets and online.
Okay.
So our other farmer markets on Saturdays, we're in Hudson, on Carmichael from 8 to noon.
Yes.
And then on Sundays, we are up in New Richmond at 45th Parallel from 10 to 2.
Oh my goodness.
So those are, and we're there most weekends. Yeah. We take a few weekends off here and there. Just because
you gotta have a weekend.
Yes, but this is also our first year going through it, and next year any vacations will be Monday through Wednesday, because we won't be taking weekends off. So any time away we'll be around those farmer markets.
Yes. So. Wow, that's so incredible, and such big growth in just a few short months. That's really
it has been.
It's really exciting.
And it's been fun. Anytime that the business has 2 pennies we can rub together, we're buying more equipment. So like what we were talking about at the business center, we started off with 120 square foot and a little bit of equipment, and we have now grown. We've taken a full pod. We're at 225 square foot. We have 5 doors of refrigeration, 3 doors of freezer. We have 2 blast chillers that we just purchased, and we've jumped up in size on our smoker, so that way we can do 8 to 10 bellies at a time. Wow. So everything that we've been doing, we've been growing. We've been blessed. We've been blessed by Hudson and River Falls and just the St. Croix County, the St. Croix community, that we've been able to. We've had to buy the equipment to meet demand, but we've also had to buy the equipment so that way we can buy back some of our time, because I'm at the kitchen at 6:30 in the morning and I'm getting home at 10 o'clock at night. So every piece of equipment that we're buying is hopefully going to lower the amount of time that I'm away. Yes. But it truly is a full family affair. My wife has a full-time job, and when she's done with her full-time job, she comes up to the kitchen at night. My son, who's 14, he's unpaid intern number 2. He comes up probably 2-3 times a week and does some packaging of bacon and likes doing the cures. The habanero, I must have an allergic reaction to habanero because it's not an allergic. It's just I can make one belly and then I have to go step outside for a few minutes where he can make the cures for those. So speaking of the cures, our process. So
yes, I was going to ask you. Give me the process.
So our process is a little bit different than what you're going to buy generally in the grocery store, right? What we do is that we get our bellies in. Our pork bellies make bacon, and our pork loins make Canadian bacon. And so we get those in, and what we did is that we partnered with a Midwest co-op of about 250 family farms. And so these family farms own the processing plant, and that's where they send their livestock to. And that's where we're purchasing from. Just because what we do is we're only using 2 parts of the pig. So we were able to partner with them. So I get the raw pork belly. What we do is we put our cure on it, and then it cures for 7 to 10 days. And what that is that we put that in the fridge for 7 to 10 days, and every couple of days we actually go in and massage each one of those bellies, flip it over and massage it, so that way the cure and the flavor that you get is actually in the bacon, right? So all of the flavor that you get when you buy our bacon, that is a part of that process. That's probably the most important thing that we do is that curing process. We're not adding flavor after we've already smoked it or sliced it. It is in the bacon. Okay? And so after that 7 to 10 days, what we do is that we smoke it, we chill it, slice it, package it, and then what we found out from our customers, they actually like the bacon frozen. So then it goes into our freezer because when they're buying at the markets or whatever, it stays cold longer, right?
Yep.
And by the time they get home, then it's either, it might be ready to eat, or else they just throw it in their fridge or freezer at that time. So that's the biggest difference from what we're doing is that 7 to 10 day dry cure. We're not injecting anything into it. It's a process that's thousands of years old, and we're just doing it at the scale that we're able to.
Yep.
So that's kind of how we make our bacon. The biggest difference is that between what we have and what you can buy in the store is the flavor profiles that we can get. We can get very, very fun flavors. For our Father's Day box, we had a brandy old-fashioned bacon that when you ate it, you got bacon, then the orange bitters, and it ended with brandy.
Oh.
I mean, so just, I don't know what you pair it with. Probably waffles in the morning. I don't know, but that's our biggest difference is that it's a full 7 to 10 day process versus a 12 to 24 hour process.
Sure.
So.
Wow, that's neat. You mentioned a Father's Day box. Tell me, do you do I know you mentioned some seasonal flavors or limited edition type flavors. Do you do any? Tell me more about the boxes, that kind of.
Yep. So what we do is we sell by the package. Okay. So our bacon is 12 ounces, or at least that's what it says. It's 12 ounces. You're never going to get 12 ounces. I was going to be 13 to 14 ounces because we package by slice, and I'm not going to cut a slice in half to get to 12 ounces, right? So it's a heavy 12 ounces. And so we sell them by the package, and then we also have sampler boxes that you can purchase. And what that is we give a discount depending on how far up the sampler box you go. And then for different holidays, we try to come up with some different flavor profiles that are specific. Like for the Father's Day box, right? That brandy old fashioned, kind of very much a Wisconsin thing.
Yes, very much.
That brandy old fashioned was kind of that centerpiece around that holiday, or around the Father's Day box. Christmas, we have a winter blend that when you bite into it, it tastes like a ginger snap. And it's a love it or hate it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some people absolutely love that flavor in that bacon, and some don't. But that's the Christmas we have holiday boxes, and then Father's Day we did Father's Day boxes.
Oh, I love it. I love that. That's might have to. We might have to talk later about. Maybe I'm going to have to give my clients boxes.
Yes.
I would like that.
Yes, that sounds like a phenomenal idea.
Yes, I love it. Jake, tell me, what's your favorite flavor?
Well, that's like saying which one of your kids is your favorite.
Okay.
But no, I'm really sweet and smoky is our original, and that goes on everything in our household.
Yeah.
Right now, if we go just right now, we have a Chipotle ranch. Habanero ranch that's going to be at the market starting the end of June.
Oh.
And that one is, I love it. That's good.
I love that. I think that, I mean, I would never even think of the different flavors you've come up with, and in bacon.
And here's the thing, though, is that we have customers that have been phenomenal, right? Repeat customers, and our black pepper and our honey habanero, those two came from customers of ours.
Oh, really?
Going, hey, we need something with some heat to it, and black pepper. A lot of people have been wanting a black pepper blend, but yeah, it's been great. It's not. Honestly, we toss it out online. Hey, what are some flavors you're thinking? And people will respond, and we kind of, we're gonna put this one over and put this one over, and we're gonna try them, and that's kind of how a lot of our flavors come around.
Oh my goodness,
Yes.
I love that. That's so cool.
Yes.
Well, Jake, is there anything else you want to tell us?
Excuse me.
Before we kind of wrap up.
One of the most fun things that I get to do during the summer, other than the farmers markets, is on Wednesday nights. If you go down to the First National Bank of River Falls Field and watch them fighting fish, I get to do I am the in-stadium announcer for the fish on Wednesday.
I didn't know that.
and one of the coolest things was that we sponsored the fish to be in their program, and so it was kind of fun to see our logo and our information on the inside of the fish program. So yeah, if you have a chance on a Wednesday night, head on down there. It's phenomenal, and I love announcing there.
That is, and we had Josh Idem on a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
So that is, wow, that's really neat. I did not know that. Wonderful. Well, Jake, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know you're a busy guy.
Yep.
Appreciate you coming on the podcast and sharing with River Falls what you've been up to for the last year.
Yeah.
It's really incredible. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. And one more thing, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, bacon, we're not in the stores, right? So we're at farmers markets, and we're online at our website, which is southridgeranchbacon.com, and we have free shipping in Minnesota and Wisconsin when you order.
Oh.
And if you're local, I'll just drop it off. And if you're ever in an emergency, just jump on the webpage. There's a special spot for a bacon emergency. You can text me, and if I'm around, I'll get you the bacon as fast as I can.
Oh my goodness.
I know that a few people in this room have taken advantage of that bacon emergency from time to time.
I would imagine. Well, that's how I know you, and I'm so glad that you came on, and I appreciate everything. And thank you so much for listening to the Beyond the Falls podcast, and join us on our next episode.